Picture this, the world of hip-hop is shaken to its core as whispers grow louder and a storm brews behind closed doors. For years, fans saw Papoose and Remy Ma as the unshakable couple of rap royalty, two icons who weathered every storm, who stood side by side through prison sentences, scandals, and the pressures of fame. But now that picture-perfect love story is cracking in the most shocking way imaginable. The whispers aren't whispers anymore, they're thunder. And at the center of it all lies one explosive revelation that has left fans gasping for air. Papoose himself dropping the bombshell about the real father of Remy Ma's baby. Yes, you heard that right. The man who once defended his queen against every critic, the man who crowned their relationship as hip-hop's strongest bond, has stepped forward with a confession that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. Fans are clutching their pearls. Social media is ablaze. And the streets are buzzing with the one question that could shatter everything we thought we knew about this power couple. If Papoose isn't the father, then who is? And why would he reveal it now after all this time? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will change everything. The drama began quietly, almost too quietly, like a shadow creeping into a room where everyone believed the lights were safe and warm. At first, it was just a few murmurs online. Fans questioning why Papoose had been looking distant in recent appearances, his once proud smile replaced with a guarded stare. Remy Ma, ever the fierce queen of New York, brushed it off with her usual fire, telling people that love was unshakable, that outsiders had no place in their story. But the cracks were already showing, and those cracks were about to burst open in the most unexpected way. Sources close to the couple whispered that arguments had become more frequent. Gone were the nights when Remy and Papoose would post matching smiles on Instagram or gush over their daughter on stage. Behind closed doors, voices were raised, accusations were thrown, and love began to look more like war. Fans didn't know it then, but those private battles were leading to a revelation that would flip the hip-hop world upside down one night. According to someone who claims to have been inside their circle, Papoose confronted Remy in a heated exchange that echoed through the walls of their home. "You can lie to the world," he allegedly told her, his voice breaking with both anger and heartbreak. "But you can't lie to me. I know that baby isn't mine." The silence that followed was said to be so heavy it felt like time itself had stopped. Remy, always the fighter, didn't back down. She snapped back, demanding to know why he was questioning her loyalty after everything they had endured together. The tension between them spilled into their inner circle. Close friends who once admired their love now found themselves forced to pick sides. Some believed Papoose, pointing out the subtle changes in his demeanor, the way he had stopped calling their child our little miracle in interviews. Others defended Remy, saying she had sacrificed too much for him to ever betray their bond. The family, too, was shaken. Whispers of DNA tests and late-night phone calls created an atmosphere thick with suspicion. As the arguments grew louder, so did the rumors outside. Paparazzi caught Remy at an event where her smile looked strained, her eyes glistening as though she had been crying just moments before. Fans flooded social media with questions. Was the Queen of New York hiding something? And why was Papoose suddenly silent on platforms where he once proudly praised his wife? The silence broke in the most shocking way. Insiders revealed that Papoose had gathered a small group of trusted confidants one evening, unable to hold the truth in any longer. "The world needs to know," he said, his voice low but filled with a weight that no man should carry. "I've protected her for years, but this is different. The truth has been eating me alive." Those words set the stage for a storm that would soon engulf the entire hip-hop community. When he finally spoke publicly, it wasn't in anger, but in pain. During a private interview that somehow leaked online, Papoose admitted that the child everyone thought was his might not be his after all. "I love that baby," he said, his eyes filled with tears. "But love doesn't erase the truth. And the truth is, I'm not the father." Fans were stunned. Some refused to believe it, calling it a setup, while others began connecting dots, replaying past interviews, analyzing Remy's body language, and looking for any signs they might have missed. Remy's response, however, only added fuel to the fire. Instead of denying it outright, she chose to remain cryptic, telling a reporter, "Sometimes the truth isn't for everyone to understand. Sometimes the truth is for the people living it." Those words were like gasoline on an already raging flame, what does she mean? Was she admitting something? Or was she simply refusing to dignify the accusations? The revelation left fans divided. Social media turned into a battlefield where hashtags like Team Papoose and Team Remy trended. For days, people debated furiously, some demanding answers while others defended their privacy. Celebrities even began weighing in. A fellow rapper tweeted, "Loyalty is everything in this game. When it breaks, so does everything else." Another artist, close to Remy, posted, "Y'all don't know what real love looks like. Don't judge what you can't understand." But behind the noise, behind the hashtags and the headlines, the emotional cost on the couple was far heavier than anyone could imagine. Those closest to them described nights filled with tears, slammed doors, and long silences. Papoose, once the rock of their family, was now questioning every memory, every moment of happiness, wondering if it had all been built on lies. Remy, on the other hand, felt cornered, her pride and vulnerability clashing in ways that left her unable to explain herself fully. The mystery only deepened when whispers about another man began to surface. Fans speculated endlessly. Was it someone from the industry? A hidden figure from Remy's past? Or was this all an elaborate misunderstanding fueled by gossip and mistrust? The uncertainty made the story even more gripping, keeping everyone hooked to every new development, every subtle clue dropped online. Then came the most explosive claim yet. A source alleged that Remy had been seen with a certain well-known figure during a time when her relationship with Papoose appeared flawless to the public. Though no names were confirmed, the implication was clear. If Papoose wasn't the father, then this mystery man might be, and that's where the real storm began. Fans demanded names, bloggers speculated wildly. Everyone wanted to know who this man was, the one who might have disrupted one of hip-hop's most celebrated love stories. And as the pressure mounted, Papoose knew he couldn't keep the secret buried much longer. The truth, raw and undeniable, was clawing its way to the surface, but before he revealed the name, the drama escalated further. Insiders reported a shocking confrontation between the couple that nearly turned violent. Raised voices, broken glass, and tears filled the air as accusations flew back and forth. "You think this makes you stronger?" Remy allegedly shouted, her voice cracking with emotion. "You think exposing me makes you a man?" To which Papoose replied, "It's not about me, it's about the truth. The world deserves to know what you've done." That confrontation, raw and unfiltered, left both of them shattered. And it was only the beginning. Because soon after, Papoose would step forward and drop the name that fans had been dying to hear. The identity of the man he claimed was the real father of Remy's baby. The air was heavy with tension after that explosive confrontation. Nothing about their once golden love story looked the same anymore. People close to the couple said the atmosphere in their home felt like walking through a minefield. Every word, every glance carried unspoken accusations. Yet outside, the pressure from fans, media, and bloggers only grew louder. Everyone demanded one thing: who was this mystery man that Papoose hinted at? For days, Papoose remained silent, almost retreating into himself. Friends said he spent hours alone, pacing in his studio, replaying moments from the past, and questioning everything he thought he knew. But the silence didn't last. In an emotional moment during a private gathering, he let slip the words that would ignite chaos. "It wasn't supposed to go this way," he confessed, "but the man who fathered her baby, it's someone y'all already know." Those few words set off a wildfire. Speculation reached dangerous heights. Names of rappers, producers, and even longtime family friends flooded social media. Fans dissected photos, old videos, and interviews, trying to spot any hidden signs. A blurry picture of Remy laughing with a certain rapper backstage years ago resurfaced, fueling theories that maybe, just maybe, this was the man behind it all. Remy's reaction only deepened the suspense. Instead of addressing the storm head-on, she doubled down on her silence, posting cryptic captions like, "Not everything deserves an explanation, and truth is for those who can handle it." Her posts drew thousands of comments, with fans begging for answers and critics accusing her of playing mind games. But behind the scenes, the storm was even worse. According to insiders, Papoose demanded a DNA test, telling Remy that he could no longer live under a cloud of doubt. "If we're going to move forward, I need the truth written in stone," he reportedly told her. Remy, furious and hurt, refused. At first, "You don't test love," she snapped. "You either trust me or you don't." But his persistence wore her down. The DNA test became the ticking time bomb of their relationship. While they waited for results, their home was filled with icy silences and tense dinners. Friends who visited said the atmosphere was unbearable, like a volcano ready to erupt. And erupt it did when the results came in. Papoose opened the envelope, his hands trembling. The words on that paper changed everything. Not the father. Those 3 words hit him harder than any diss track, harder than any feud he'd ever faced in the rap game. He dropped the paper, staring blankly. As if his entire world had collapsed in that single moment, Remy's face told another story. Instead of shock, insiders claimed there was a flicker of resignation in her eyes, as though she had been carrying this secret all along and had finally been forced to confront it. "So what now?" she asked quietly, her voice almost breaking. But for Papoose, there was no easy answer. The revelation spread like wildfire once the test results were leaked to a trusted circle. Bloggers got hold of the story, and within hours, it was everywhere. Headlines screamed betrayal, and fans were in disbelief. How could this happen to them? One fan tweeted, while another wrote, "Papoose was the blueprint for loyalty. Now even he's been played?" The fallout was immediate. Family members weighed in, some calling for privacy, others unable to hold back their disappointment. One cousin allegedly told reporters, "We all looked up to them. They were supposed to be the example, and now this." But the biggest shock was yet to come. After days of speculation, Papoose finally spoke publicly, his voice heavy with emotion. In an unfiltered livestream, he revealed the name. "I didn't want it to come to this," he said, staring directly into the camera. "But the man who fathered that child is someone I once called a brother, Easy." The internet erupted. Fans couldn't believe it. Easy, the rapper who had been a friend to both Remy and Papoose, suddenly found himself at the center of a scandal bigger than anything he had ever faced. Within minutes, his name trended worldwide, with people demanding answers. Remy, caught in the eye of the storm, finally broke her silence in a raw, emotional post. "Love is complicated. Life is complicated. What you think you know is not always the truth," she wrote. Her words only fueled more speculation, as some interpreted them as a confession, while others saw them as a plea for understanding. The betrayal cut deeper than anyone could imagine. For Papoose, it wasn't just about infidelity, it was about being deceived by someone he had trusted like family. "I welcomed him into my home," he reportedly told a close friend. "I broke bread with him, and this is how he repaid me?" Easy, for his part, didn't stay quiet for long. He denied the accusations in a defiant post, saying, "People will do anything for clout. Don't believe the lies." But his denial did little to calm the storm. Fans dug up old footage of him and Remy sharing knowing looks, laughing together, and standing close at events. Suddenly, every innocent interaction was recast as evidence of something deeper. The hip-hop community itself was split. Some artists sided with Papoose, praising him for his honesty and bravery. Others defended Remy, saying no one knew the full story and it wasn't right to drag private matters into the public eye. Still, the damage was done. The once untouchable couple now stood in ruins, their legacy overshadowed by betrayal and heartbreak. Behind closed doors, the emotional toll was devastating. Remy reportedly begged Papoose to think of their family, to remember the years they had shared, and to not let one mistake define everything. "You promised me forever," she told him through tears. "Does that mean nothing now?" But Papoose, broken and disillusioned, struggled to see a future together. The story, however, was far from over, because just as fans were beginning to accept the shocking twist, another revelation threatened to take the scandal to an even darker place. Whispers began to surface that there might be more than one man involved, that the truth was even more tangled than anyone could imagine. And so, while the world reeled from the revelation of Easy's alleged involvement, a new layer of mystery began to unfold, leaving everyone asking the same burning question: if Easy isn't the whole story, then who else is? The revelation of Easy's name had already left the world spinning, but the whispers that began to surface afterward made the scandal even more unbearable. Some fans believed the DNA test told only part of the story, and others swore that Remy's silence meant there was another secret hiding in the shadows. The more people speculated, the more theories began to grow, each one more dramatic than the last. Insiders claimed that Papoose himself was beginning to wonder if Easy was only the tip of the iceberg. Friends described him as restless, pacing through the night, replaying conversations, remembering times when Remy had slipped out for late studio sessions or answered phone calls in hushed tones. "It's like a puzzle I never realized I was putting together," he reportedly told one confidant, and every piece is darker than the last. The pressure reached a boiling point when a new rumor exploded online. A blogger with connections to the industry claimed that Easy may not have been the only man involved, and that Remy's entanglements ran deeper than anyone suspected. Within hours, the rumor went viral, dragging names of producers, label executives, and even a longtime friend of Papoose into the chaos. Remy, once admired for her resilience, was now painted by critics as the mastermind of betrayal, yet her fans refused to abandon her, flooding her posts with messages like, "Stay strong, queen," and "They just want to bring you down." The divide grew sharper, leaving the hip-hop community at war with itself. The situation escalated during what sources described as one of the most heartbreaking confrontations yet. Papoose, already reeling from the DNA test and Easy's denial, looked Remy in the eye and demanded the whole truth. "Don't make me look like a fool twice," he said, his voice heavy with exhaustion. "If there's more to this, I need to know now." Remy's response stunned him. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, "You wouldn't be able to handle the full truth." Her words landed like a dagger. For Papoose, it was confirmation that something darker was being hidden, something beyond what had already been. Revealed. Fans got a taste of this tension when paparazzi captured the couple leaving a restaurant in New York. Remy's face was streaked with tears while Papoose walked ahead, stone-faced, refusing to even glance at her. The images sent shockwaves through social media, with fans saying it looked like the very end of their marriage. Then came another bombshell. An anonymous source claimed that Remy had grown close to someone in their circle while Papoose was away on tour years ago, and that this person might also be tied to the child's paternity. The identity of the second alleged man wasn't immediately revealed, but the implication alone sent fans into a frenzy. Remy's closest friends began to speak up, trying to shield her from the storm. One insider told a gossip site, "Remy is not some villain. She's a woman who's been under unimaginable pressure. The world doesn't know half of what she's been carrying." But instead of calming the situation, the statement only made people wonder, what exactly was she carrying, and why couldn't she just speak openly? Meanwhile, Easy found himself cornered. The weight of being named by Papoose and judged by millions pushed him to go live on social media. In a fiery outburst, he insisted, "I'm not the father. Papoose is lying to save his pride. People love drama and I'm the scapegoat." But fans weren't convinced. Comments flooded in with people demanding he take a DNA test of his own. The pressure was unbearable and his credibility began to crumble. As if the chaos wasn't enough, another twist emerged. A producer who had worked with Remy during a critical point in her career came forward anonymously, hinting that their relationship may have gone beyond music. Though he never mentioned names, the implication was enough to send the internet into a frenzy. Now, speculation swirled that maybe Easy wasn't the father, and maybe someone from the industry itself had crossed the line. Papoose was devastated. Sources close to him described him as a man caught between love and humiliation. On one hand, he had built his entire identity around being the loyal husband who stood by Remy no matter what. On the other, he was now being forced to face the possibility that his trust had been shattered in more ways than he could count. The emotional toll was visible in every public appearance. Gone was the smile that fans adored. Instead, he appeared distant, guarded, a man carrying a burden too heavy to share. Remy, meanwhile, looked fragile, her once fierce confidence shaken by the mounting accusations. The power couple that had once been untouchable now seemed like two strangers orbiting around the same tragedy, yet the story still wasn't over. During a late-night radio show, a host revealed that they had spoken with a family member of Remy, who hinted that the truth was far more complicated than anyone realized. "Y'all think you know, but you don't," the relative reportedly said. "It's bigger than Easy, bigger than what's been said. When the truth comes out, it's gonna shake everything." Those words were enough to ignite another wave of theories. Fans began to wonder if Remy herself had been trying to protect someone all along. Could it be that she wasn't just covering for herself, but for another man whose identity would devastate the entire family? The possibilities were endless, and each one more shocking than the last dot through it all. One thing became clear: the trust between Papoose and Remy was almost beyond repair. Friends begged them to seek counseling to save what was left of their bond, but insiders claimed Papoose felt too betrayed to even consider reconciliation. "I gave her my loyalty, my life, my everything," he reportedly said, "and she gave. And secrets and lies." Still, despite everything, Remy wasn't ready to let go. In what some described as a desperate move, she allegedly begged Papoose to keep the newest revelations private. "Don't do this to us," she pleaded. "Don't do this to our family." But Papoose, torn between love and truth, struggled to make a decision, and then came the cliffhanger that no one saw coming. According to someone close to the situation, Papoose discovered evidence, messages, photos, proof that suggested the web of betrayal was even more complex than he had feared. The whispers were true. Easy might not be the only man in the picture. With this new evidence in hand, Papoose now faced the most painful decision of his life: to expose everything and destroy the last remnants of their family's image, or to protect Remy one final time and live with the unbearable weight of silence. World watched in anticipation, because everyone knew that whichever choice he made, it would send shockwaves far beyond their marriage. The discovery of those messages and photos was the final crack in an already fractured foundation. Insiders described Papoose as a man torn apart, staring at his phone in disbelief, scrolling through evidence that confirmed what his instincts had been screaming for weeks. There were late-night messages, coded words, affectionate exchanges that could no longer be brushed off as harmless. The betrayal was staring him in the face, and this time, there was no denying it. What shook him most wasn't just the proof, but the identity of the other man involved. While fans speculated wildly about industry names, producers, and rappers, the truth was far closer to home. According to a source who claimed to have seen the evidence, the man was someone connected to the couple's inner circle, a friend who had been around them for years. The realization hit Papoose like a thunderbolt. Not only had he lost faith in Remy, but the very people he trusted most had betrayed him in the deepest way possible. The emotional fallout was immediate. Those close to the couple revealed that Papoose confronted Remy with the evidence, slamming his phone on the table and demanding answers. "How long?" he asked, his voice trembling with fury. Remy, cornered and tearful, couldn't bring herself to deny it. "I never wanted you to find out," she whispered. Those words broke him more than anything else. For fans, the news of yet another alleged man sent shockwaves through social media. It wasn't just about one mistake anymore. It was about a tangled web of secrets and lies that left the entire relationship in question. People who once saw them as the blueprint for black love now flooded timelines with disbelief and heartbreak. "If Papoose and Remy can't make it, then nobody can," one fan tweeted. Another wrote, "This is the end of an era. My heart is broken." Remy's image began to crumble under the weight of the revelations. Where once she'd been admired for her resilience and loyalty, she was now portrayed as a woman who had destroyed her own kingdom. Tabloids painted her as a schemer, while gossip blogs tore apart every past interview, every smile, every gesture, to prove she'd been hiding something all along. Through it all, Papoose struggled to keep his composure. Insiders said he began spending more time away from home, confiding in friends, and questioning whether he could ever forgive her. "I don't know who I'm angrier at," he allegedly told one friend. "The men who betrayed me or the woman. I loved who let it happen." The drama took another twist when Easy, who had already been dragged into the scandal, decided to strike back. In a fiery interview, he claimed that Papoose was using him as a scapegoat to protect the real truth. "He knows it ain't me," Easy said, his tone sharp and defiant. "But my name gets clicks, and now I'm the villain? Nah, I won't take that." His words added fuel to the fire, making the situation even messy. Fans were left completely divided. Some believed Papoose, praising him for standing firm and exposing the truth. Others accused him of trying to humiliate Remy publicly, calling him bitter and vindictive. The debate raged on, with each side fiercely defending their chosen hero. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, the couple's family was left in pieces. Relatives begged them to keep the matter private, especially for the sake of their child. But the Damage was already done. The scandal had spilled into the open, and now every decision they made was under a microscope. Remy tried to salvage what was left of their bond. In one heart-wrenching moment, she reportedly begged Papoose to remember their years together, the battles they had fought side by side, and the love that had once been uncheckable. "Don't let this be the end of us," she pleaded, her voice breaking. But Papoose, holding back tears of his own, simply replied, "It already is." Yet, despite everything, he couldn't bring himself to walk away completely. Love, even when broken, doesn't vanish overnight. Friends described him as a man caught in limbo, unable to forgive but unwilling to fully let go. "He's trapped between his heart and his pride," one insider explained. "It's tearing him apart." As the scandal grew, celebrities began to weigh in again. One rapper tweeted, "This game will test you in ways you can't imagine. Loyalty ain't what it used to be." Another singer posted, "We all make mistakes, but some mistakes can't be undone." The commentary only added more drama, with fans dissecting every post for hidden meanings and possible connections. Then came the final twist that no one could have predicted. A leaked recording surfaced online, allegedly capturing a private argument between Papoose and Remy. In it, Papoose's voice could be heard shouting, "You've humiliated me, you've destroyed our family," while Remy sobbed in the background, repeating, "I never meant for it to go this far." Whether the recording was real or fabricated didn't matter. It spread like wildfire, cementing the image of a couple in ruins. The leak pushed the drama to its breaking point. Insiders claimed that Papoose, humiliated and heartbroken, began considering divorce. "I can't be the man who gets played and stays quiet," he reportedly told his inner circle. The words sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, as fans realized that the couple who had once been the ultimate symbol of loyalty might be heading for an irreversible split. Still, even as the walls of their relationship crumbled, there was one thing neither of them could deny: the love they once shared. In their quietest moments, away from cameras and gossip, both Papoose and Remy were said to break down in tears, mourning not just the betrayal, but the loss of a bond that had carried them through some of life's darkest storms. And that is where the story sits, suspended between heartbreak and survival. Fans don't know whether this is truly the end or just another painful chapter in a love story too strong to completely shatter. But one thing is certain: nothing will ever be the same again, because once a secret this big is revealed, once trust is broken so deeply, there is no going back to the fairy tale. The world waits breathlessly to see what choice Papoose will make: walk away from the woman he once called his queen, or fight through the ashes of betrayal to build something new. The stage is set for the final decision, and the outcome will echo through hip-hop for years to come. And so, the scandal leaves us all hanging on the edge of our seats. A love story that once inspired millions has now been reduced to whispers of betrayal, DNA tests, leaked recordings, and unanswered questions. Papoose and Remy Ma were once untouchable, the definition of loyalty in hip-hop, but now the world is left wondering if their bond can ever survive such deep wounds. Fans are torn, families are divided, and the industry is buzzing with speculation. But here's the truth: no matter what happens next, nothing will erase the shockwaves of this revelation. The DNA results, the accusations against Easy, the hints of another man, the tears and confrontations, all of it has forever changed the way people see this couple. Some believe it's the tragic fall of hip-hop's strongest union. Others think it's just another test, another trial they might still overcome. What about you? Do you think Remy and Papoose can ever rebuild the trust that's been shattered? Or is this the end of an era, the final chapter in a story that once symbolized unshakable love? And what about Easy? Was he really involved, or was he just caught in the crossfire of a messy truth? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Are you Team Papoose, standing by the man who laid his heart bare? Or Team Remy, believing that love is more complicated than the world will ever understand? Don't just watch, be part of this conversation, because your voice matters in the story. And if you've been hooked by every twist and turn, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update in this unfolding drama. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.